Hey, Tom here. FlipAnythingUSA. Uh, so I thought I'd come on here just a little bit and tell everybody Happy New Year. I think we're going to have I got to rearrange some things here. I think it's going to be it's going to be a good beginning of the year for sure. Don't know how long it's going to last, but I am optimistic that at least the first half, while the interest rates are low and before the banks do whatever they're going to do, whether they allow foreclosures. Hey, Copy Josh, Happy New Year. I actually got a sick girlfriend. She's got COVID, and so we're having to stay apart. So she's, anyways, she hadn't been feeling too bad, but she not feeling so good tonight. Yep, Happy New Year. Thanks, Carlos. I appreciate it. Hey, one of the things I want to tell everybody about is tonight is the last night. The mentorship goes up to $9.99, so it goes up $400 tonight. And I've been telling you guys that it would, and I know some of you have been kicking the tires a lot. A lot of people signed up today and yesterday. But anyways, so if you want to make that your resolution. Also, after tonight, there is going to be a more affordable way to pay $100 a month or $99 a month. Some of you asked for that too. There's also going to be kind of a deluxe one too, where I'll do a lot more hand holding. It's just going to cost thousands of dollars. But anyways, I don't know if anybody's got anything they want to talk about in particular. Actually, there's a couple videos we could watch. I don't know if you guys are doing much. I actually ended up having a slower night than I expected, but it's still, I got an engagement to do a little later, but for now, I thought we could check out some. Hey, Mario, glad you're here. But you guys want to watch what sounds good? What sounds good? We could watch, let me see here. Meet Kevin did something with a Trump statement, if you want to see that. There's another thing, real estate related. We got Grant Cardone's got a quick one. Commit 2021. I have no idea what he's talking about. I don't think he's been pushing his land deals anymore so much, but who knows? I'm open. Some new guys here. Let's see. Top 5 real estate markets to break into. I don't know. Anybody got a preference? We'll check it out. Let's see. All right. Let's go. I don't know. Yeah, let's just watch this Grant Cardone thing. I'll cue it up here.
This year will be different, they will say. This year I will get rich, they might pray. This year I will get in the best shape of my life. None of it will happen. By January 20th, you know everybody quit. The gyms will be empty, business back to normal, your bank account ain't gonna change. Here's why your resolutions don't work. Number one, there's really no real commitment. There's no real commitment that is followed up with time and
nice
money.
car.
Number two, there's no real plan. You guys gotta have a plan. I don't mean a plan how to do it. I'm not talking about the plan how to do it. I'm talking about the plan what you do each day. Number three, dude, the why is missing. Now this why, this is the Mac Daddy right here. If you can't stay connected to the why, I don't mean why am I doing this, but you got to dig down the why behind the why behind the why. Why do I want to lose weight? Why do I want to be in better shape? Why? Because it's going to make me healthy. But why do you want to be healthy? Why did I start investing in real estate? And by the way, why did I start making more money so I could have more money to invest in real estate? Why do you want to make more money so you can have more money to invest in real estate? Why? Oh, because I want to spend more time with my kids, man. Because I want to be on a vacation with my kids and not worry about what we're doing. I want to be able to go to sleep or go travel or do whatever I want. And I got money coming in. And I want to be able to take care of my parents and my church and my charity. I want to take care of stuff after I die. That's why I invest in real estate. The why behind the why behind the why. Number four, you need accountability. You got to have somebody holding you accountable. And for most of you,
I know where
that's
this is
not
going.
you. It's somebody else, and it's not in your group, by the way. Number five, your surroundings have to change. Okay, the people, your network, your scenery. You will not change your life until you change the people in your life. And number six, You need future dates, okay? This is a gravitational pull right
All
now.
right. Yeah, I don't particularly like listening to his spiel, to be honest. There's not some bad things to make you think, I suppose. But you know what? Look, the bottom line is really what you got to think about is you got to do something. You got to go forward. You got to move. You got to save money. You got to cut your overhead. These are the things I tell people all the time. And, a lot of people say, what kind of property should I buy? It doesn't matter. Like I tell you all the time, there's no bad real estate. There's just bad deals. Don't make a bad deal. You don't want to hand your money to Grant Cardone to invest in his apartments and let him give you 6% or 5% or 4%. That's going broke slowly. Yeah, just think about it. If you got $100,000 invested, you make $4,000 or $5,000 a year. It's peanuts. It's nothing. It's a waste of money. You've got to use your money wisely. You got to treat it like a tool. It's the most important thing is that you always have an investment working for you. Actually, I was going to punch into Google Earth. That might be interesting to some of you guys. So on Google Earth, there's so many properties I can jump and back and forth to that go back into my history, going back almost 40 years now. And it's like I made $10,000 there, I made $100,000 there, I made $300,000 here, and it's been just a fun, journey. I just call it a journey. Even my own kids, I'm not going to spoil them with money. They can, they're going to figure it out on their own. Yeah, 6% is a joke. It's a joke. You're right, Alex. It is. It's a joke. Listen, you have to in the beginning. It's a lot easier when you have investments that are under $100,000. It's much easier to double your money. Much easier. In other words, you can put out 10 on a lot and sell it for 20. I can't tell you how many lots. Probably 40. I don't know. Maybe 40 lots that I bought for under 10 and sold them for over 20, 25. Made $10,000 to $20,000 on each deal. Now that's harder to do on bigger properties, but with bigger properties, when you have more money, you can throw out $1 million to make $300,000. It's okay. But when you're under $100,000 and you're stretching to get $10,000 together, you need that 10 to turn into 20. And that's the kind of thing that I did, and that's why people take advantage of people that are new and gullible, and it's unfortunate. I don't know if you guys saw this video I did the other day. That was basically on CoffeeZilla, but CoffeeZilla was hey Dog Pog was calling out this guy that basically just going out and selling a course he knows nothing about. And they got some behind the scenes, messaging between him and another guy. And, it's just pathetic that there's people out there that will absolutely mislead you. And they just consider you a mark, somebody to take money from. And, but so, I don't know. But I have mentorship now too. And if you're just getting here, please subscribe to the channel. And it's not even showing up. It's just frustrating to see people taking advantage of. But man, it's going to be a great year. There's no reason it shouldn't be. I'm a big fan of. I've been a big fan of Trump. I think he's helped the economy a lot. We've seen a lot of great things happen, a lot of jobs. That's been really, really helpful. I don't know how many of you do you see your towns going to hell? Do you see, we got homeless problems in multiple properties where I have, cities where I own property. There's just homeless everywhere. And they don't seem to be hurting for money, the ones that I see. I see brand new camp stoves. I see picnics. I see haircuts going on under the bridges. I know we got drugs and prostitution going on. We got a lot of stuff going on that hopefully we can improve and change. So let's see. Hey, Tom, let's see. Hope you have a great new year. What goals have you set for yourself in 2021? Oh, that's a good question. All right. Superstar says he's had the book for 6 months. He's going to take time to read it tomorrow. That's great. And, yeah, the homeless problem, it's insane. It's just a mess. There's a guy over in Venice, too. We could take a look at this. I mean, it's just a pigsty, and I don't know why. But we have people like the German in Venice. This guy here's a kick. He just shows basically all the pigsties in Venice that are on the beach. You got vendors paying $2,500 a piece to be along the sidewalk, and then across the sidewalk, you got squatters stinking up the place for free. Let's take a look here. I'll probably turn the volume down a little bit. We'll just talk over a little bit. Perfect day.
Look at this. It's like a lazy river here.
This guy's funny. So this is a German guy in Venice. But I'll just let this thing play. We can keep talking. The pictures tell it all anyways. But yeah, so yeah, one of the things that I'm doing, I mean, I when the COVID stuff happened, I got a little bit concerned, and I sold a couple. I don't know. I fire saled a few houses just to get another $1 million cash on hand, and then I've seen surprisingly now all of a sudden we have a shortage, and so I went ahead and threw a little extra money in some of the other properties that I have, and I'm going to get a higher return. The interest rates are lower. The demand is higher. There's much less. In fact, I was looking at a certain zip code that I favor, and there's only two listings in that whole zip code. Well, I have 10 houses in that zip code. So I'm taking some of those. I got 4 or 5 of them that I put on the market. I'm about to. In fact, I met a stager today. If you're not familiar with staging, staging is where they bring in, beds, air mattresses that look like beds, and then they'll have a beautiful dinette table, and they make the living room and the dining room look great. And then they'll dress out the master bedroom. They'll make it nice. In fact, I just got the contracts on that, and they're saying, hey, there's $10,000 worth of furniture here, and you got to pay full retail if it gets stolen. And I crossed that line out, by the way, and I said I'm not gonna pay full retail plus 10% if the shit gets stolen. If the shit gets stolen, I crossed it out and I wrote I'll pay your costs. In other words, I'll pay what you paid. I'm not going to pay more than you paid. So always check your contract. Somebody wrote a quick question here. Hey, Tom, when I buy your audiobook on Amazon, is it required to enroll in your nice course after? No, it is not. No. But I can tell you most people that have the book get the audio version, and most people buy the audio version get the book because the book has printed copies of, obviously has printed contracts and stuff that I've used, over the history of my purchasing up to that point when I wrote the book. And so there's stuff like that. Tom, do you have an assistant to manage all of your stuff? Yeah, I've got a few of them. I've got, I've got people in the field. I don't know I've got like 3 crews working right now doing various things in the field. I got painters working. I got drywall guys working. I've got carpenters working, finished carpenters shooting trim and that sort of thing, crown molding. I could walk you through some of the houses I just did. In fact, I walked through one of them today, or no, maybe it's yesterday. I don't know. To be honest, not so many people are interested in the remodel stuff, and I think I'm moving a lot of that remodel stuff into the backside of my program. The program being, the mentorship. The mentorship, and let's take a break from this for a second. I'll show you guys real quick. So look, here's looking in the back end of the mentorship. Let me go in here too. So you go to the members area. This is what's open to everybody. This is the front end of the site. But if you get into the members area after you log in, you can get into, the meetings, and this is where the real estate courses are. And what happens is when you get in there, you get released this first week of courses, okay? So this has, I had 2 what I called informal meetings, the pre-courses, and these are just dynamite. In fact, we can watch part of this. I'll give you a little taste. This goes back to one of the first.
Yeah, you got Andy in the UK. That's great. All right, so
this is one of the first classes, informals.
Okay. So I told this agent, I said, look, I want to come see you. I want to talk to you. Send me the survey. She goes, what do you really need?
Oh, I got a terribly slow connection here, so we'll have to see. I'm getting audio, but the video's not moving. Let's see here. Don't wait. Study local price. Yeah, always. Yep. Copy, Josh. You got 100% right. You got to know value. You got to, and if you looked at the thumbnail, it shows my real estate barbell, right? Bunch of houses and buildings clustered in a circle at two ends, and then a bar in between that has houses and buildings. Well, I mean, that's what my property looks like. In other words, that's a path between my home and my work. And then I have another barbell just like it, kind of going the other way. That's, to a lake property that I own, and buying stuff up in between. And, or, even if it's a place I visit, out of state, sometimes that happens. It's a long stretch in between those two spots. Let's see. But yeah, do I have an assistant to manage all your stuff? No, I mean, yeah, I've got a lot of employees, not surrounding the course so much, to be honest. This is easy, but I mean, I sub out stuff. I have a web guy that handles the e-commerce part of this stuff and the transactions. And then, I mean, obviously I do the content, and I do the classes. And this is like, here's a little sample of class. And actually, I know this property. There's about 40 hours of content in the first month of the crash course, okay? Really important. And so if you guys want to watch, I'll give you a little sample. Let's see. And this is like...
I can still see you. By the way, I can see you out in the StreamYard, just so you guys know. Even though you don't see me. Or you see me on YouTube. All right. Okay. So everybody here, right? Just trying to make sure.
Yeah, I'm experiencing interruptions.
Check this out.
It's funny. It's asking me... It's telling me that I'm... getting interruptions. Let's see if I can find another one we can go to. I can't give you the work lesson. That'd be giving you too much. But anyhow, like work lesson 1, you can see here. So there you go. That's first class, gold members class. And it's chapterized, right? It's got all these chapterizations, so you can go back. If there's something you didn't get, you got to go back, and you can look at these chapters. Let me make sure you can see this. Yeah, see these? It's chapterized, okay? On that particular lesson, it's in here, and like I say, you just can't get this. I mean, this is 40 years basically of experience that I'm sharing with you, of somebody that's been very, very active in the market, buying and selling, and it's just something you're not going to get anywhere else. You're just not going to get it. So second week here, you've got, week 2 lesson, then you got about 5 hours of Q&A between 2 different classes. Third week, same thing. This is lesson 3, and that's, you got to be a member to get into this stuff, of course. And then there's the Q&A that follows this stuff. Well, the Q&A is extremely valuable, and these are students that you see. That's me right there talking, and and again, everything's chapterized. Again, this is backup offers, talking to sellers, about being excited versus anxious to buy, 3-phase electricity. I take you into so many things you probably never even thought about that are important, depending on whether you're buying a piece of commercial, industrial, residential, 1031 exchanges and taxes. I don't know if you see, but these are the chapters just in this one. Equity with a HELOC, bird dogging, trailer park development, multi-unit and turning over tenants. A lot of stories on that. Hiring a virtual assistant. Offers over asking price. Conditional overlays. Probably most of you don't know what that is. This is just stuff. It's just years and years of experience. And then I jump to current deals that I've got going, and I'll show you the stuff that I'm in the middle of right now. And I got some really interesting stuff. Always, because this is what I do. This is what I do for a living. So let's see, Tom, which strategic renovations do you believe add value to property? Hey, the number one is buying it right. Renovations, let me just tell you, fixing stuff up it takes time, and it costs money, but worst of all, it costs time. It costs time, and the things that are uncertain right now is, the government kind of picks the winners. They pick who they bail out and who they don't bail out. They'll let private business suffer, and sometimes they let a swath of other people. Sometimes it's illegal immigrants suffer. Everybody gets stung here and there. They decide who gets. I mean, that's where all the money is in politics, is handing out the money and never making anything permanent. Because if you made like a permanent tax cut or a permanent program, then they would no longer have a carrot to dangle in front of you and tease you with. But on your renovations, look, you got to do the least amount you need to do to make the property worth the most. And the number one renovation is clean. Make your windows shine. A lot of old bathrooms, the tile still looks great. Just clean it. Make it super, super clean. I mean, I think it's charming to have an old bathroom that still has a cast iron sink that doesn't have any, chips or marks in it. A tile job that's not missing a piece of tile, even though it's 70 years old. I mean, I love stuff like that. Not everybody does. I get it. But if you polish it and make it look super clean, because it costs so much money. Listen, plumbers come out, change the lines and change the stops. You almost always have to replace the stops under a sink. Sink's a couple $100, and then you got a countertop, depending on how far you go on that. Cabinets are hundreds of dollars if they're finished or you have them finished. There's just so much involved with it. The key thing is buying under market. Buying under market, and let's see what some of these. This is on condos. I'm jumping around here, show you guys backup offers. This one I probably just did. Seller claims of unbuildable. A little bit on PropStream and finding data. Let's see. Is that the one? Do it again. Right. And then here's more. But you can see this is a 2 hour and 30 minute. Just this one video is 2 hour and 30 minutes, and that's one of 4 in the 4th week. Okay, and I go through that. I give you a binder. I send you a binder when you get in the course and give you kind of what we call a workbook to follow. That also becomes older neighborhoods. There's just all kinds of cool stuff in here. I mean, that's not in the book. There's a lot of stuff that's in the book, but there's a lot of stuff that's not in the book. But this is like taking it to another level, and that's if you can afford it, if you can do it. If you that's why I always tell everybody you got to read the book first, because if you read the book and you don't have passion for real estate, it's not for you. But if you read the book and you're like, yeah, I want some of this. Then it's a wonderful thing, and it's a wonderful lifestyle. I can do this till I'm 90, as long as I can see. I can do this. I don't even have to move particularly very much. I just have to be able to see and get wheeled around in my wheelchair. So it's not a strenuous thing at all. I mean, you can stress yourself out if you over leverage, but I keep that under control myself now too. Let's see here, quick second. But that's a real estate barbell that you see there. And let me see. What else? Oh, what's the fastest flip I've ever done? It might have been my first one, to be honest. And I talk about that. And that was when I called my old boss, John Brooks, and I called him to say, hey, I got a property I think it's worth, $70,000, $80,000 more than I'm paying for it. You can be my partner. It's a building. I told him about it. He came right over. He looked at it and he said, Tommy, he goes, I don't want a partner. And I'm like, huh? That seemed rude, right? And he goes, how about I just give you $20,000 and I buy it by myself? And that was my introduction to what some of you call wholesaling, or what I just call assigning contracts. Has been doing it for many years, but that was my, over 35 years ago that one happened, and I made $20,000 that day, the same day. He just bought the damn thing, and he probably made 70 to 100 grand. I never had to worry about it again after that. I got my money; it didn't matter, and that's really where you want to be. And then when you get at some point, you will be like John Brooks. And you'll have tons of money, and you'll just pay cash for stuff like that. You don't need a bank. Are you still looking at buying a beach house? No. After all the crap that's gone on in California, You know, they're trying to put their hooks into everybody that's trying to leave right now. If you leave California, you may still be paying taxes on all your income that you make in another state for the next 10 years. They're trying to put their hooks in everybody. They don't. It's such a poorly run state. It's just such a horribly run state. It's got tons of union, and it's got tons of what we call unfunded mandates. In other words, you know, cops can retire early, and a lot of things. There's a lot of stuff going on where, in other words, the retirement isn't funded. So in other words, every time somebody quits or retires, well, they go on, you know, their retirement. They start getting a check. That money's not already put away. That money's being funded by current taxpayer money. And then somebody replaces that guy. So now all of a sudden, you know, let's just say you pay this guy $6,000 a month. Well, now he retires on $5,000 a month, and now somebody takes his place and gets paid $6,000 a month. So now you're spending $11,000 a month for the guy that left and the guy that's there. And that's what's an unfunded mandate. And that's why it's so horrible. They keep, you know, listen, you'd think, just I look at, I've lived through the computers, right? The personal home computers. All that started in my lifetime. I bought my first computer. It was an Eagle computer. Paid $8,400 for it, $8,400. Slowest piece of crap you can imagine. You wouldn't even use it today. It's worthless. But I bought that in the 80s, okay? And even then, it was saving me so much time and paperwork and stuff for what I was doing with it. This is building cabinets. It was a CAD program. And you're sitting there thinking, I just shaved, you know, a ton of time off having employees, because I could do this, you know, on the computer now. And then you're looking at our government, you know, our government still bloats and grows like crazy. You got printers, you've got, you know, automation, and they still keep hiring people like crazy. And it goes beyond, you know, it's not in sync with the population. It's farther, faster. And so, you know, it's just so the taxes is like, you know, they're going to forever tax us to death, and they're going to continue to raise the taxes. And, you know, and the leaders are the most incompetent that there are, and they're easily misled and bought, and it's terrible. But, thanks, Kingpin. Hey, we just hit 12,000. You know, should have happened a long time ago. But anyways, I appreciate that compliment. Anyways, in fact, you know, on that subject, since we're talking, there's not a ton of us in here anyways, I think about going, you know, I've got a lot of opinions about politics. I mean, I know a lot of people get turned off when I talk about politics too, but that's the problem. Half the people do. But I thought about starting another channel. I also thought about just divvying up and just go, okay, I'm talking politics tonight. Okay, let's talk real estate. You know, let's talk whatever. Let's see, best strategy to purchase home in Texas that has an ag exemption on the land. Yeah, if you can get that. I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but what he's talking about is an ag exemption. So when you can buy a property that's worth, say, $1 million, and but they're taxing it like it's worth $100,000. So there's almost the taxes are like next to nothing. But what happens is when you go to develop the property, when you change the use and you go to develop it, at that point in time, you then have to go back and start paying tax on the last 2 or 3 years at the $1 million. So all of a sudden, you got to pay for 3 years at full price value taxes. I mean, it's changed a little bit. It's not exactly like that probably, but it's similar to that. That's what happens. So the ag exemption is wonderful. You know, I had 20 acres. I should have kept it in the ag exemption. I bought it under market the day I bought it. That's when I should have flipped it and made, $700,000-800,000, but instead I held it 20 years and made $2.8 million, which is fine. But I would have I should have just taken the money that I made. I should have just made $700,000 early on, and just do what I do, keep buying and flipping. Do I think taxes will hinder you? Yeah, I just wrote nearly $500,000 in property taxes yesterday. I had to get them out in the mail so I could write them off in this year. So yeah, they hinder you all the time. No, here's the problem. So look, I'm a real estate investor, so I get killed on property taxes if my holdings are in a state in a state like Texas that has high property taxes, very high, almost 3 times higher than California. So as an investor in California, I could buy a lot of property and pay less property tax. But the problem is I think they're charging you 13% on your income. So I have to pay 13% of my income from those properties that I buy in California. So you get screwed either way. But here, believe me, you when you first get a tax bill in Texas, and you hadn't seen one, you think it's a joke, and then at second look, you go, "Oh my God, this is real." You know, it's too high, and they adjust. They adjust all the time your taxes up, and where in California they just they bought it for $50,000 20 years ago. Okay, it's still worth $50,000. They don't market to market like they do in other states, but I love California weather. I love it. I don't think there's a better place on earth when it comes to geography. You can go to you can go skiing. You can go to the beach in the same day. Beautiful mountains, streams, it's gorgeous. And you can cover a lot of territory quick, but and the weather's amazing. But that's how that is. But what else? Anybody got anything in particular you want to look at or talk about, or I can call it quits now too if you guys. Hey, please subscribe while you're here if you would, and. That was my subscribe button that didn't show. Let's see if that one works. There you go. Like I said, I am just burning some time. What I know about the Las Vegas market is, and Hawaii is the same way. They follow California. My whole life, I've been, I used to go to Hawaii a lot. When I lived in Los Angeles, I went to Hawaii a lot. I mean, just all the time. And because it was a quick 5.5 hour flight. And I went to Vegas a lot too. Whatever happens in California, I mean, it's Hawaii and Vegas might as well be part of the California state, because I think it's because they are so close to each other that they're frequented so much. And in other words, you affect California, and a bunch of Californians own property in Nevada and in Hawaii, or they frequent there all the time, then obviously you're going to feel it. All right, let's see. Stryker Road, how do you get into multifamily for investing when they want almost 40% down? That's pretty stiff down. Last time I bought multifamily apartment buildings, it didn't take more than 25. In the good old days, and I'm talking about the 80s, you could assume loans that were out there that were pre-existing FHA loans. No, you could put 25% down. I used to be able to, when I got really rolling, if I put 25% down, there was no qualifying. They called them no qualifiers. So you could get, as long as you put 25% down, there's like no questions asked. You're gold. Let's see. Mike McLeod, enjoy your videos. Have your book. Thanks for sharing. Hey, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Hey, anybody that's just walking in, please subscribe. I like I said, I do believe my channel is underrated. It's really funny to me because the many of the shows that are the most popular have the least amount of decent content. It's all fluff, and they present it well, but it's just fluff. It's like, where's the money? Nobody asks where's the money. I love showing you the money. That's what I do best. I love showing you what I'm doing, what I'm making, where it's going, what I bought, how much I made. It's a blast. What do you think about triple net lease properties? Well, I'm starting to put triple nets on my houses. They're so aggressive on taxation that you have your property bumped up on a rental. A house goes from $300,000 to $500,000, and now that's real money. It's thousands of dollars a year. And let's see. So he said, the problem is everything is so expensive. Even 20% is so much to have saved up to start. No, I agree with you on that. But listen, Stryker, there's cheap properties everywhere relative to the area you're in. You may have to go a little bit out of town or go out in the suburbs or go out where there's some land. And it's possible you can. I don't have to leave the state to buy property. I never really have had to do it. I've done it, but I don't have to do it. Mike, Mike asked me how many fix and flip deals do I do a year. I'd probably say on an average. I mean, I do sometimes. I mean, it's 10 in a year, but on an average, I would say 3 or 4, maybe. On average. I hold a lot of stuff too. I buy and I hold. So here's just give you an example. This is probably going to be kind of busy for me the last 6 months. I bought a house about a week ago. I bought a house before that 3 weeks ago. I entered into a contract to buy a building just under $1 million. That one's going to close January 15th. And the house before that was probably, I don't know, but I sold 4 houses during that time. So I sold 4, and I bought more than, here's the thing. I probably sold, I don't know, $1.5 million or so in houses, maybe $2 million. Let's say I sold $2 million, but I probably bought another $3.5 million in the course of selling that $2 million. So I'm always accumulating more. And so I'm always, throwing that cash, whatever I made, and I'll leverage it a little bit. I don't leverage as heavy as I used to. I like paying cash for houses, and I like, if I buy a building, I kind of like to put, 30-40% down minimum, and sometimes even more, because I'm buying it under market anyways. I mean, that's the goal, is not to buy something at full market value. I want to buy everything under market value as much as I can. It's the way I've been trained, or I say trained, I've trained myself to do it that way. I don't want to get stuck. I've been leveraged to my teeth. I've been in trouble, and it's not for me. I mean, I've done it many times, but I just don't have to. I'm not in that position anymore. It's funny. I was watching a little bit of what is it, Stephan. Thanks, Mike. Stephan, and he's talking about, I'm not buying real estate anymore. Well, he never really bought. I mean, first few deals he bought right. Okay. After that, his portfolio sucks. It's not a very profitable one. But that's something you can do when you're making, $1.5 million or $2 million a year. You don't have to be very careful with your money. You can just buy whatever you want. If you're paying almost cash for it, you can live on a 2% return or a 1% return. Let's see. So Stryker here says, I'm currently driving my city with Notepad, writing all the vacant addresses down and sending postcards to them and see if I get any hits. Well, you can do better than that. Of course, you have to get my mentorship to know what to do, or at least buy my book. Get my book. If you don't have my book, get my book. It's been a bestseller on Audible or on Amazon and Kindle. You can have the book in 10 minutes. Just download it. Are you buying houses for long-term appreciation? Not really. I mean, like this one, I did this one just recently, and let me take you to this video. God, I got some content on that. Let me take a look here. See, if I can show you, I'll go to manage here. I'll show you some of the houses I'm working on right now. Okay, I'll do that. Let me. What's the most recent one I did? Oh, I have some live videos too. Actually, those are probably the best ones because I've done a lot of live stuff here lately. All right, so here, look. Let's watch this live one, and it'll run around and show you what I'm doing. Maybe a little bit of progress on some of them too. Damn, I've been in the field so much lately. All right, so let's watch this one real quick. Oh, this is actually kind of neat.
Yeah, okay.
I show you guys. This is a house. This is a house I've owned. I answer your question. This is a house I bought this house to turn it into office. Okay, I bought this house to turn it into office. In fact, you can't see it, but I bought the house next to this house on the right. And then going across the street, I bought that house. And then next to that house, I bought a restaurant. In fact, if you ever look up the restaurant, you'll see the restaurants that I bought. But let's look at this a little bit. We've been pumping concrete. You're going to see a more extensive video. I've been videoing you guys hear most of this. But you can see this is the point they just stopped. You can see the hose. That's pump. And anyways, going over. You haven't seen a grinder, or not Jose Antonio. And we'll get a stump grinder. If you haven't seen that, that's a pretty fun tool. Let me see if I can make We'll grind all these stumps out, flush to the ground. Looks like we got another stump over there. And if you've never seen you know what? I've got too poor of internet here. There's nothing I can do about it. But anyways, basically, over the last month, because I'm talking about the amount of stuff I've turned, but if you can see here, let's look at this. This is probably an easier way. The thumbs work. Like, here's a house. I just put $10,000 worth of cabinets. I put another $4,000 in countertops. This is all wood floor. I was just in there about a half hour, 40 minutes ago. Everything on the floor is now wood floor in this one I'm talking about. And, I probably put $50,000 in that place. It's got new everything, new showers and new everything. And then this is another house that's 4 miles away from that house. And you can see there's new tile going, and this is all in the last 2 weeks. So, I've done a lot. And then this one up, you can see this one here. It's that same shower in there, but come back down here. And there's the fence that I put in, and you can see it's a lot of fencing. It goes back, all the way around. Other ones, new garage doors, and just all the stuff you need to do sometimes to make it sell quickly. Yeah, there you go, critic. I'm with you. We all need to make a lot of money this year. But yeah, so that's it. That's primarily, and I have, like I said, I just barely got a couple of videos in recently. CoffeeZilla and Dan Pena, and Max Maxwell. Those are ones I did here, and actually I got one out with Bell before. All that's last week, or maybe partly this week, but if you haven't seen, and there's some fireplaces. I replaced this in another house, fireplace. One of these I actually show. I took down the fireplace. Actually, take a look at this. It's kind of cool. This is just a mobile concrete rig. So, in other words, there's a lot of stuff. But see, people don't care much about the remodel stuff. I mean, I know some people love it, but in all honesty, I don't even love it. That's a stump grinder. Of course, it's not on. It looks like it's on. I wouldn't have my hand there if it was on. But that's a stump grinding out. We also took out, trailers and trailers of bamboo. Let's see what else. These guys were kind of fun. These are guys I got a call, and I had guys riding bikes on the roof of my building. And actually, that's another building I've sold. Hopefully, it'll close here pretty soon. I made a lot of money on that one too. Let me tell you. When it closes, I will have. But all right, let's get to questions. Can you tell us what mistakes you made from making money off notes? Here's the mistakes. Oh, hey, Liam, glad you're here. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year, Liam. When it comes to mistakes with notes, it's hard to call it a mistake. I mean, look at it. I bought a property for $140,000 and I sold it for $510,000, I think, right? So I made over $300,000. Now, I made part of that was on paper, meaning I carried a note. I had a $295,000 note that was payable to me, and I got $2,450 a month. That was 10% interest. That's what the going rate was. So I got $2,450 a month for years, interest only. And then the guy went belly up, and I said, look, I can foreclose on you, or you can just give me the property back. And he gave me the property back. And then 2 weeks later, he said, hey, I got somebody that'll buy that property. He goes, and I sold it to him for $510,000, right? And he said, but they'll only pay $200,000. And he goes, and I want to make $20,000 because he lost it. He lost a lot. He lost a bunch because he bought it from me for $510,000, and then he handed it back to me, owing me $290,000. And so then he said, hey, I got a guy that'll buy it for $200,000. So I resold that property that I paid $140,000 for, that I sold to him for $510,000. And now I take it back because he can't make his payment, so he hands it back to me. And then I sold it again for $210,000. Or for $200,000, and I gave him $20,000. So in the end, I lost a little bit of money on that. I didn't lose. I mean, instead of making $380,000, I made $300,000. Not a bad problem. Not a bad problem to have. Believe me, the problems are not bad. But once in a while, people don't make their payment, and you got to decide if you want to foreclose on them or not. Sometimes I've had people, and we had I've been through several downturns too over my lifetime, 40 years. Believe me, there's been some downturns. I started in one. That's where I started, and people, we can't pay. We're going to hand the property back. I says, no, you're not. I said, you don't have to pay them anymore, and I just signed it. I just let them have it. Because they paid me on a long time, and they only owed me $5,000 more. I'm not going to foreclose on them for $5,000 when they've been paying me more than that over many years. So I just handed it back, or I let them have it, and wrote off the note. Oh yeah, the biker video. You like that one? Okay, so good, Starker. You guys are answering each other. That's good, man. So that's one of the cool things. Just like in the forum here, you guys answer each other's questions, or and sometimes you guys answer questions for me, which I appreciate. Especially those in the mentorship. There's just nothing like real estate. There's nothing. That's why, I wrote the book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate, because that's what it is. It's like wake up. It's wake up. It's really cool. It's funny. I was in Malibu not all that long ago, and me and my boy went up there, and we just went bike riding. And anyways, that's what this little video here. Oops.
So I'm out here biking with one of my boys.
I was dying.
Topanga Canyon.
Let's do it this way. You can't see it. I don't know why the internet's super slow. I guess a lot of people are on the web tonight because I don't know. It's not very good. Let's see if I can show you. Anyways, but the point of that video is when I was going up, I'm going up this mountain, mountain bike, going straight up, at an incline for long, long ways, and people are coasting down. They're coasting down, and they go, "Hey, man, you're almost there. Like, don't give up. You're almost there. You're almost there." And that's why I made that video. You're almost there, because really, that's what the journey is with real estate. You start buying and accumulating. And it's like climbing a hill. There's fatigue. You're if you're self-employed, which is always good to be self-employed if you can. But sometimes you get thin, and you got people you're paying paying money to sweep a floor that aren't motivated, but you can't afford to lose them, and you can't hardly afford to keep them. So you're doing the things you got to do to struggle to stay in business. And then you bought lots of property, and so you got to save for a rainy day, and you watch that dwindle and burn up. But it's like you're almost there. You're almost there. Don't hang on. And because just like in business and with real estate, there's always going to be a deal. Sometimes you're looking for a great deal, and doesn't happen, and then all of a sudden it happens, and then you realize, what, it does happen with work. Well, as long as you are smart and you look in the right places and you do the right things, you'll find deals. Deals are, you're always going to be able to find another deal, and it's heartbreaking when you just lose a deal, when you got that close and you almost had it, but you lost it. But you got that close. That's what you got to remember, because before you got that close, it was not even existent. You didn't even know it was there. They were happening around you. Now you got that close, and now the next one you get it, and then that's the thing. Once you start closing deals and making deals, you'll start making a lot more, because you're just getting better at your craft. Yeah, thanks. Happy New Year, Pars. Let's see. We'll pay for the full security deposit and the rent. I'm not sure what that means. Tom, I want to start flipping things to save cash for real estate. Now I can learn what to flip and what not to flip. I know you flipped fire truck, machinery, other stuff. listen, Elite, I don't know what you know. You know, it's always good to go with what you know. I mean, you could be a comic book collector. You could be, if you know what you're doing. Hey, Cyrus, glad you popped in. Happy New Year. Appreciate all that. And, hope we all make a lot of money this year. It's looking good for me right now. I'll tell you, things look really, really good. I'm very pleased. Got a lot of stuff in escrow. Hopefully everything closes. And I want to get a lot more in escrow, buying and selling. But the main thing is keep your overhead low and, and be patient and always be looking. You got to always be busy looking for deals. That's the fun. That's the fun in it. It's depressing to take a calculator and if you're working by a check and know exactly how much money you're going to make at the end of the year or at the end of 5 years. You know what I mean? I remember being a young guy working. I remember I got a 10-cent an hour raise, and I was just laughing. I thought, I can buy a 6-pack. This is before I got a drink. This is when I was 15. Anyways, it's just a matter of perseverance. But see, like I say, I was trying to tell my boys the other day, I'm the closest thing to a time machine as you've got. I said, because if I could go back in time, obviously I'd buy Apple, I'd buy Microsoft, I'd jump in the tech companies and that's how I'd make, $1 billion if I could go back and do that, but I can't. But yeah, like Liam says, love the action. It's the game. You don't want to deprive your kids of the game, but what is nice is like a time machine. I can go back and I can say, hey, look, son, when I was 17 or when I was 18, it could be like just having confidence to go ask, don't be a wallflower. You always I say this a lot, if you can't win the lottery unless you buy a ticket, not that I'm saying you need to buy lottery tickets, but what I'm saying is if you don't step up, you're not going to be noticed. And let's see. So Cyrus wrote, Tom, I have been looking a lot into the stock market right now. There are a lot of indicators that it is extremely overheated. Yeah. That being said, there might be a very bad correction. Yeah. Cyrus, the only thing I know for sure is that I don't know. Warren Buffett has been selling off. Yeah, well, I would watch him like a hawk because there's nobody I respect more than Warren Buffett. The market cap is now larger than the entire U.S. GDP. Might see, yeah. No, I don't doubt that you're right, but you got to remember we have a country that will print money. When they need money, they just print it. It's sad. We don't even qualify for the programs that we reward other countries and we take care of them, we bail them out of all kinds of crap, and they have to keep their books. They have to have certain numbers. We don't even qualify for the programs that we pay out to other countries. So it's just we just try to have our finger in everything, and it's terrible for us. And really, and I don't know whether you think about the elections or not. I don't care if you like Trump or not. There are some ridiculous things going on. I personally don't think he lost, and it certainly hasn't been proven that he's won. And I think it's going to get interesting here in the next week. I hope it does, but because nobody believes in our system anymore. Nobody, and it looks horribly tarnished. So it is what it is. But let's see, what do you do when you find your vacant properties? Do you just go to the county assessor's office? Yeah, that's what I used to have to do. It was the only option there was at one time. Stryker says, yeah, get the book, Stryker. That's for sure. Yeah, look, Stryker for sure. That's just I identify most of the names in here. Just about everybody here. Hey, Roberto, how are you? Glad you're in. Happy New Year. But yeah, just get the book. It's $10. It's peanuts. It is. No. Ask questions. That's fine. But here's the deal. There's so many questions that are answered for $10, and you can get deeper into it. So it's just such a great value for $10 because, believe me, so many of the questions you're going to ask are there. But yeah, no, it's of course ask questions. Hey, Risha, glad you're here. Risha here from London. And hey, Risha, by the way, I was actually supposed to do a live event, or I was to say live. I was doing a Zoom meeting with Monoperty, who's over in the United Kingdom. It's going to be real interesting. We're going to do a video, a little collaboration here pretty soon. Yeah. Yep. But anyways, but yeah, so I'm sorry the internet is so slow. Otherwise, I'd take you through all these remodels that I'm doing right now. And but I'll tell you what, I have got all kinds of videotape, and I'm bouncing between 5 houses each. Some are getting different things. Some are getting major remodels. Some are getting, outside stuff like concrete poured and, a lot of stuff like that in new interior doors. Others are just getting paint and minor stuff. But they're all going on at once. And so, painting takes time. So you got to have multiple painters, and then, of course, you want good painters, and some are better than others. So it's a lot to juggle sometimes. But Cyrus wrote, your remodels are coming along like gangbusters. Yeah, no, I've been kicking out some work. I got painters coming in Friday. That's what I was doing a little earlier. I took my son and we unloaded, I don't know, probably 60 gallons of paint. And that's to paint interior and partial exterior and also, cabinets. But I got a guy that wants to work, and I said, okay, man, he's got a crew and they're going to jump in Saturday. And that's when I actually have a tenant to move into that building. But at the same time, these other 2 houses, they got so many minor things. There's a lot of detail stuff that's a pain in the ass, and it takes time. And then we got clobbered with rain. I got calls on water leaks, and I got, people mopping here, people mopping there. It's kind of a severe weather storm we had today. So JC wrote, where is the best area? I couldn't tell you. Listen, the best area is where you live. That's just the bottom line, because that's the only area you can watch like a hawk, right? You're standing there just looking at everything. The best area you can invest in is the area that you live. I promise you. There's be some exceptions to that, but in general, things might be fantastic in Houston or Dallas, and but you're in Plano or whatever. It's fine. Don't worry, because what you guys got to understand. If you're just now watching, please subscribe, because I guarantee you this is great information. But I'll tell you just something right now. There's people dying. This is where there's so many opportunities, deaths. Divorces, and just dying. Just people roll out. They get old. They move into homes. They sell their places. They sell all their assets. As they, a lot of people don't want to leave a bunch of land to their kids. They want to leave cash, and I like that. It's actually smart in a way. I'll probably leave with a lot of real estate, but I'll leave also when I, my deal. I got 4 kids, and when the youngest one's 40, that's when if I'm dead, they all get it. They just get it. If I'm alive, then probably not until I die. But when I do die, then it will pass to them. And I figured my boys will be 40, my daughters will be like up to 48 then. And, they'll have, they will live sunk or swim, and they'll have whatever they have. And this will be a nice little, bonus for them then. But they will have had 40 years to, find out life is tough and life is fun. I tell them, I said, man, life is fun. Some people, I complain life is tough, and life is tough sometimes, and it is hard. But life is rewarding. I mean, that's the challenge. That's like Liam said, earlier. I forget exactly what he said. I'm paraphrasing, but it was like, yeah, that's the game. That's the game. Okay, sorry. So one thing Warren Buffett said was that interest rates are going to have to go up because of all the money we printed. If that happens, will release price go down as rates go up? Yeah, I don't know. I don't pretend to know the market. And, there's actually, I love Warren Buffett as an investor, and I tell people I buy real estate like Warren Buffett buys, let me see if I can change this. There's actually a really good Warren Buffett, if I can find it here. Because see what Warren Buffett does, and I tell my boys this because my boys like stocks, and that is, everybody, it's like being up to bat, and everybody's saying, swing, swing, swing. And even the people that are on your side want you to swing. They want to have a hit. They want to see something go on. But that's where Warren is different. He sits there, and he'll have 6,000 pitches before he takes a swing. And it might take 2 or 3 years for those 6,000 pitches to come by. And he just does not, that's what it takes. And I say I buy the same way. In other words, I don't buy unless it's a great deal. I'm not going to buy anything unless it's an amazing deal. Let me see. I'm looking over here right now to see.
Warren Buffett is well known for turning small amounts.
Yeah, that's not it. There's this one that's. I'll know it when I see it. It's an old interview. I mean, it's like 1984. And it's funny because he looks the same age then, almost as he does now. So who knows? What was it? What was the 60 Minutes? Let me see. It was 60 Minutes, I think. Yeah, this is it. Okay, yeah, I found it. You guys want to watch this? We'll watch this, and then we'll call it quits. You guys want to watch this? It's not very long, and it is an awesome. But I tell you, this is the way you want to invest in real estate, like he does in stock. I think Bitcoin is garbage. I mean, it's just nuts to me. It just, it's just up and, I like cash. I like money. I like money I can pull out of the bank and put in my hand if I want to. So no, I'm not crazy about Bitcoin at all. But it's not my business. Yeah, it's not my business. So here, let's go pop over to this real quick. And let me go here.
It's Sunday morning on CBS.
Oh, it's longer
Here
than I
again
thought.
Is Jane Pauley.
If anyone is a legend of modern commerce, it's almost certainly billionaire Warren Buffett. So
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, guys. My internet's too slow. I can't even do it. It just won't work. Not going to work. But it is a great one. If you look up 60 Minutes, Warren Buffett interview, and it's just amazing. I mean, the guy is just a really great. I mean, just seems like a genuine person. Pretty simple guy, but a damn genius. He's just disciplined like crazy. So yeah, trailer homes. Yeah. Hey, look, go to FlipAnythingUSA.com. Which, by the way, I better let's just plug this real quick. So look, I have a mentorship you can sign up for. It goes up to $1,000 tonight. It's right now you can get it for $5.99, and I'm going to make some other options where people can, still going to be $1,000 when it's going to be like $99 a month. But you can get in tonight if you can do it. If you can swing it, I urge you to do it. I don't want you in there unless you have the book, though. You got to get the book. Anyways. This is it. You go in. If you go in here and you look at the book, you can see testimonials. People that have made money. These are book reading testimonials from really all over the country now. There's a guy who made $25,000 after reading the book. He showed me his check, and actually that guy, I think that's Mr. Ricketts. I can't remember. He's in the mentorship now. He's in the most recent mentorship. If you go to the mentorship, you speaking of trailer parks. This guy here, Eric, guy's like a rock star. He bought a trailer park. He also bought some land. He buys every one of these, all three of these guys, after they got out of the class or while they're in the class, made deals that by their own estimation, they've made over $200,000 each. And Liam actually was just in here a little while ago. And like he's the one who said, yeah, it's the game, a great guy. He's a carpenter like me, so we get along well when we talk. But look, just read the testimonials and see what it's about. But if you can swing it, do it. If you can't, watch the videos that you get here for free, and you can you learn a lot for nothing. I mean, you can learn a lot for free. But whatever you do, just don't waste your time. You got to have the ability to discern bullshit. In fact, I was looking up shinola. I don't know if you guys know what shinola is, but that's like shoe polish, black and brown shoe polish, and that's something my dad used to say is, that guy doesn't know shit from shinola. And there's a funny video from The Jerk, and the Jerk, Steve What's his name? I forget. Oh, hey, good. I'm glad you're still here. Remember The Jerk, Liam? So The Jerk, there's a scene where Steve Martin's dad, before, Steve Martin he's not just a jerk, but he's like Shinola. He doesn't, anyways, what he does is he takes his son, Steve Martin, out there, and he says, son, before you go on your own, I want to show you something. And he points to, he goes, that's shit. And there's like a huge pile of horse shit in front of him. And he goes, yeah, shit. And he goes, son, and this is Shinola. And he goes, shit, Shinola. He said, yeah. He goes, do it again. Shit, Shinola. And then he goes, okay. He was happy because now his son at least knows the difference between shit and Shinola. And they said, okay, let's go. And then Steve Martin's next step, he steps into that big old pile of shit. So, anyways, but really, it's unfortunate because there's some people out there that are clever and there's some people that watch that are not very clever. So you get people that are clever salespeople that sell shit, and then you get people that are gullible that don't know the difference, and then they get duped, and then they wasted money and time on fluff and crap that doesn't mean anything. This is real. What I teach you is real. These are real classes. These are real deals I've been doing. And these are real people that are making real. In fact, there's Cyrus right there. Who's Cyrus? Hope you know I'm being on here, but there's Cyrus right there in the upper left-hand corner. He's one of the diehards, and he's from the first group, and I see guys here from the second and third group. And, it's a great community. It really is. It really is cool. I'm really, really happy. It's been more rewarding than I ever expected. Do I follow the real Brad? Oh, I can't even read it. Brad Lee? No, I don't. I don't know who he is, but I'll look at him. There's a guy, old school real estate. He was a nice guy, reached out to me, and we were going to do something together at one point or another. And he died of COVID. I just found out he died of COVID. He was a really super nice man. We used to trade. He would send me voice. That's how he through Instagram. He'd leave me a voicemail, and then I'd voicemail back to him. And he'd just been on, I think, a Bigger Pockets podcast, which I am not an advocate of Bigger Pockets podcast. I think there's some decent information in there, but I think there's a lot of garbage in there too. And, it just seems like it's a library of stuff, but not all good stuff. Robert Kiyosaki, it's funny. He's never been my cup of tea. I've never read anything of his. I mean, I've seen him talk a little bit in this, and I've heard, I remember way back when he came out with whatever book he came out with, but I had already read every real estate book you can imagine by all the old guys, and a lot of that was bullshit stuff too. I was a big personal development person, so I love Think and Grow Rich, and As a Man Thinketh is one of my favorite books. If you don't have it, I recommend As a Man Thinketh. It's book's over 200 years old, and it's simple and it's quick, and you can read it fast, and other stuff like that. But the one thing you can do, you can jump around YouTube and you can listen to somebody. You listen to them in high speed, And like I say, if you listen to somebody in high speed and 10 minutes goes by and you haven't learned shit, that's probably a good person not to follow. Because so many people, and then I'm going to show you this, and then I'm going to show you that. Go to the links below, and they don't show you anything. So, hey, anyways, guys, it's getting late, and I got to go see the sweetheart here in a little while. I just want to say Happy New Year to everyone, and thanks for spending some time, with me here. And if you guys, anything else you want to cover or talk about or ask about, I'm all ears at the moment, but we'll call it quits here. But please subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I think that's it, and I'm going to call it a night. Appreciate everyone, Liam, Cyrus, all the regulars, Copy Josh, Risha. Anyways, what do you tell him? Oh, let's see. He refers to aging parents as liabilities. Oh, yeah. Well, anymore they are. I look at, I'm very proud of my mom. My mom has dementia. And my mom has dementia. And she has played broke with me her whole life. I've taken her to China. I've taken her to a lot of fun places, and she's fun company. But I've always paid for everything. You know, even when I didn't have as much money, I paid for everything. And you know, when my mom got totally incapacitated, people were taking advantage of it. Unfortunately, family members were. But I put a stop to that. But what I did find out is she had put away a hell of a nest egg. She really did. She put away enough money that I don't have to help her. I just have to make sure it stays a nest egg, and she's got enough money and I tell her, oh, there's enough here to take care of you till you're 120 years old. And so she laughs because she obviously isn't going to live that long. But yeah, no, the parents are liabilities. If your parents get old and they don't have any money, it's expensive. It's expensive to take care of them. And I mean, I go bonkers with my mom. I mean, because I spend a lot of time with her. She wants to spend a lot of time with me. And, you know, it gets old hearing the same question, you know, 10 times in, 2 hours or 20 minutes sometimes. It drives you nuts a little bit. But I love her, and, you know, you just got to take it with a grain of salt and deal with it. But, hey, Happy New Year, everyone. We're going to have a big, profitable year, I'm sure most of us. And, you know, come in here and just watch this stuff for free and watch other people and share with other people here. I'll go look at this Brad Lee. You might have to bring it up to me again sometime, but we'll take a look at this guy. But please share, please subscribe, and hit that like button and comment often. Thanks, and good night.